Well, thank you so much, and good afternoon to all the panelists here on the dais. It's an honor for me to share this dais with you, and I feel absolutely privileged. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our session titled as Academic Incubators and Commercialization of the Campus Innovation, from Lab to Startup. Here at TiE Hyderabad Entrepreneurship Summit 2025. So, I still remember, like in our campus, as you know, that Mallareddy Group of Institutions is the largest educational hub today in Telangana with more than 50,000 students. And who knows better than how an engineering student or a technology student can be, and what are their dreams, and what could be the future of our students, for sure. Because we are having out of 50,000, 15,000 students belong to engineering and technology background. So I can totally relate them. And yes, of course, when we go to a campus, I am a doctor and they have chosen me to ask them the questions as a moderator. So hats off to this combination of from MD medicine to technology. So today I am here to learn a lot from these pioneers from different areas of education, different fields. So I am truly excited and also nervous. Well, as we all know that in engineering campus, we all have incubation centers. We all, of course, do have. But then how many of them actually go into the market is the question. So as you know, the topic is from the lab to the startup. That's the question. The commercialization of the incubation center, the commercialization of all the startups, taking them to the market is a challenge today. There are so many research projects going on in a campus, but hardly anyone in the public or it goes into the market. Well, I can always see when I go into a campus, I can see the lab full of bright students working on robot arms, mock satellites, sensing devices. And I asked, so when will these become companies? My question to my students is this, that when will these become companies? The answer then was fuzz. So today the path is clearer, but it still needs clearing. We have with us three distinguished panelists who are going to help me, and they come from different areas, of course, mostly from academia. And yes, they are going to help to bridge academia, industry, policy, and startup ecosystems today. We'll explore how academic research can leap from diagrams to simulations into market-ready products, how campus incubators and technology transfer offices can accelerate the path, how new business models emerge when students, professors, and and crucially, how institutions can create inclusive innovation that doesn't leave the talent behind. Let's begin with a panelist introductions and then dive into a set of questions. I am excited for a deep, transparent, and actionable conversation. So let's get started. Before I take an honor to introduce you, I give the mic to you so that you can tell more about, introduce yourself better than me, because I come from a medical college background and you can help yourself more. So further, without ado, I request all my fellow panelists to share a short introduction respectively. Thank you. So let me introduce you our first panelist, by name at least, that is Dr. M.J. Shankarji, the CEO of IIT Madras Pravartak Technologies Foundation. Sir, the mic, please, over to you.
So I am the CEO of IIT Pravartak Technologies Foundation, which is a technology innovation hub of IIT Madras. I have been an entrepreneur, I have been an employee, I have been an employer. So I have all the combinations. So that's why the director thought that I can take over as CEO of IIT Pravartak. And we have been doing quite well. We have incubated about 52 companies. Our valuation of these companies crosses about 1,500 crores as of today. Oh. We have been generating revenue on our own. I'll brief that when we come to the discussion part of it, why people are very up against incubators. Okay, so let me answer that question.
Well, the next panelist is Professor Sandeep K. Shukla ji, the Director of TiE Hyderabad. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Preeti ji. So, I am Sandeep Shukla. I am currently the director of TiE Hyderabad. And however, my previous job 3 months ago was I was actually running the C3I Hub, which was a technology innovation hub at IIT Kanpur. And as part of that technology innovation hub, which was focused on cybersecurity, we incubated 49 startups. And we also did acceleration funds for 9 startups. And I'll tell more about what happened to those startups or what is happening to those startups in due course of this discussion.
Okay, sir. Well, our third panelist is Professor Soumya Mukherjee, sir. He's the director of HIBIZ Pilani, Hyderabad. Sir, over to you. Can you? Or you can take my mic. Okay.
My name is Soumya Mukherjee. I spent about 26 and a half odd years in IIT Bombay. After that, took a lien to be the director of the HIBIZ Pilani Hyderabad campus for about a couple of years. Started a couple of companies in IIT Bombay, which was I used to think that I used to do tech, but when people said that that is software, I felt deeply bugged. But now they have a good word for us, which is called deep tech. So I am into deep tech. I have a background which is very varied, from instrumentation to mechanical to biomedical and all sorts of things, which gives us an edge. And I also am member of the Innovation Hub in IIT Bombay and a variety of other things, and also help run the incubator in HIBIZ Pilani Hyderabad campus.
Okay, so, well, we'll start with list of questions, and I think every one of you, like each one of you, has a different set of questions. So, to begin with, Dr. M.J. Shankar, sir. Sir, my first question to you is, at IITM Pravratak, you lead a technology innovation hub that sits between academia and industry. What has been the biggest barrier you have encountered when converting research prototypes into startups?
Okay, there are 2 or 3 things that we find as problems. One is every person who does the research, they think that theirs is the greatest research, and that can be converted into a product the very next day, and customers will buy it. Okay, so let me give you some kind of a statistics. Even in IIT Madras, which has a research ecosystem for 20 years, out of 600 plus professors, probably 20, 30 are the real, quote unquote, the entrepreneurs. In the sense, they were the ones who are responsible for certain technologies to come out, and looking at them, some other people have started. So the first part lies with the professors also, because our education system as such doesn't recognize entrepreneurship. See, if you start a company, what credit do you get as a professor? Nothing. Whereas if you publish 4 or 5 papers, you get promotions quite easily. In fact, I was surprised to see that even the classes that you take is not considered for the promotions, okay, and the students' feedback is not considered. What's the point in running a professorship without student feedback? And how can professors motivate an entrepreneur if you are not going to recognize him for these activities? So there is a basic structural problem in what we have. Okay, so that is going to be, unless these things are changed, your entrepreneurship from research to lab is going to be difficult. Okay, the second problem comes from the students' part of it. Many of the students try entrepreneurship as just fun. Yeah. You know, we have a Center for Innovation, and they have fantastic ideas, but they don't want to follow it up. You know, because entrepreneurship is a hard task. Okay, see, this incubation and all that is only part of entrepreneurship, right? I mean, you have to work, you have to guide the students, you have to work with the industry, you have to talk to the customers, you have to get feedback from the customers. Those are all part of entrepreneurship. And finally, another greatest problem is whether the guy will get married or not. You know, I have seen many entrepreneurs run away saying that I will not get married if I am an entrepreneur. Okay, so the problem is from the students' part of it. The problem is from the professors. And of course, the social problem with India. the final thing is money is not an issue. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship. Okay, everyone talks about saying that I don't get funds, I don't get Series A funds, and all these things. I don't think money is an issue. Today, you have enough money. If your idea is good, you find good customers, and there is a good order for it. So these are the three things that
Three
I want.
barriers. Well, sir, as you rightly said that yes, of course, where there's a zeal and where there's a will, there's a way. So, and most important is the confidence and the courage you need to begin something and take it to the market. Well, the next question is, what skills or mindsets do you look for when you evaluate a research team ready to become a startup team?
First is any team that comes to us, we go through something known as the customer meet. Okay, so we try to ask through our Gopalakrishna Deshpande, because IIT Madras has an excellent ecosystem. In the sense, once you want to start something, there is a Center for Innovation, and once that comes up well, they are put through something known as Gopalakrishna Deshpande Center. Okay, where they have to meet about 100 customers within 3 months. And they have to give their product to the customers, or at least tell the idea, get the feedback from them. And we have seen that many of the people have even gone out after this stage because the customers don't want the product. So we do a reality check at the first level. Then we bring them to Pravartak, where we ask them to do a proof of concept. And at that time also, you go through the customer's cycle. Because customer is involved at every point. It's not just that I take money, make a product, and then finally I give it to the customer. And then once the proof of concept is done, then we always do a prototype. Even that prototype is given to the customer, we review it. And finally, if all these things go through, actually funding becomes very easy. Because when there is a customer, okay, the VCs actually come and fund it very easily. Now, one thing that we do extra is that, there is this valley of death that happens.
My next question was the same to you.
So the value of, so why do these startup companies die is because you don't have a cash flow. Okay, so at Pravartak, we look at a cash flow for these companies also. And this cash flow comes because we do technology development, and part of the technology development, we actually hand it over to these startups. Okay, the startups has a small team which will ensure that there is a cash flow that comes to them. That's why 14 out of our 52 have at least gone to the market today.
Oh, nice. That's nice. Well, sir, as you have already taken this question that whether the value of death is real in deep tech, and how is your incubation framework designed to help innovators cross the gap to market? So you've...
So any startup dies between 3 to 7 years.
Oh, okay.
So this is the valley of death and they die simply because they don't have cash.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the problem that we try to solve, because once you make them float through that 4 years, how do we get cash flow? See, we have an advantage. We are not just an incubator. So we also have to do technology development. We also have to do skilling for deep tech, because what happens during the valley of death is people with good talent leave. Okay, then you can't replace the talent. So since we have a coordinated effort of technology development and skill development, we are able to continuously give people to these startups so that startups don't lose the good people, or even if they lose the good people, within 1 month they are able to recover back what they have lost. So these are all very important. So these are two things that we do: financial, help and the personal help. As long as the processes are good in a company, there is no problems. So this is what we do.
Well, sir, so the next question is, can you share 1 or 2 successful spin-outs or projects from Pravratak that illustrate the path from lab to venture?
Okay, there are 2 at least I can mention right away. One is MindGrow. These are people's, we had a microprocessor called Shakti that came out of IIT Madras. And we actually incubated this company, MindGrow. And now they are looking at customers. They have got their first product out from TSMC fabricated. It's a semiconductor startup. They are on their way. They are in discussions with many of the automotive agencies. The second is Tutor Hyperloop, which already has a customer, Kandla Port somewhere in Gujarat, where they are going to have the prototype built. We already have a 450 meter track, longest in the world
Oh,
for
nice.
testing the Hyperloop. And now a customer order has come for this company. So all these started with very small efforts from IIT Madras.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Well, the last question to you is how can campuses across India, especially outside IITs, leverage your model to build sustainable deep tech ecosystem?
So, in fact, out of 52 startups, only about 40% is from IIT. The rest of the 60 are not from IIT in our case. So what we do is we actually go to tier 2, tier 3 cities, get out the best product. They can apply to us. Our website is open. They just have to put an inquiry mail. We will actually send people, look at their idea, and then we'll talk to the professors there. And we tell them that, look, these people have excellent idea. You just support them. Okay, and if that works very well, I mean, we have seen very good products coming out of these kind of effort. And it's not great. Okay, let me tell you, it's not very difficult. It's a question
It's
of having
possible.
the right people.
Yes, of course. Well, sir, I think the IIT Madras Pravratak are really fortunate to have a CEO like you. And I think this has really, I mean, you've given a very good insight and you all are doing a great job, I feel. Well, coming to the next panelist today is Professor Sandeep Shuklaji he's a director from TiE Hyderabad. Sir, my first question to you. Your research in cybersecurity and critical infrastructure is deeply relevant today. How do you position research labs to create startup ventures rather than only publications?
As I said that I was a founder and promoter of C3I Hub, which was a technology innovation hub in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So we actually worked on incubating startups in cybersecurity. 49 startups were incubated. Also, we did acceleration fund for 9 of them. And we also worked on technology-based service to organizations like NHAI, Indian Port Association, Mangalore refineries. We did cybersecurity risk assessment, and then also threat assessment, vulnerability management for these companies. We also have worked with other government organizations very closely. For example, RBI, SEBI, NPCI, IRDAI. So I think that I personally never emphasized publication-only research labs. Publication should be a symptom, not a goal. Publication should be a symptom that work is happening, innovation is happening, but publication cannot be the end goal. The end goal is innovation.
Innovation, yes.
And that has to happen continuously. And if innovation happens, you patent them, you actually license your patents, or you actually yourself can go for entrepreneurship, which is harder, but you can license your patents. So we have done quite a bit of patenting also. So I think overall this publication-only culture is coming from the Western world, and that is actually killing the Indian innovation ecosystem. So I think I never promote publication-only ecosystem.
Okay, well said, sir. Well, the next question to you is, as the director of TiE Hyderabad, what is your strategic plan to scale the institution's innovation and incubation outputs?
So fortunately, as I came into TiE as a director 3 months ago, I found that we have a Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship called CIE. And in fact, last night, they won an award for their entrepreneurship ecosystem here in this program.
Oh, congratulations.
So we have a pretty large-scale entrepreneurship and incubation ecosystem. And also we have on-site presence of many of these innovators. Also, TiE is, unlike other institutes, it doesn't have any department. It's actually a union of research labs. So the labs actually So all students, all teaching, including undergraduate, is research-based. So innovation has been at the very core of IIIT's DNA.
Yeah, it's the soul of your
Yes.
campus,
Yes.
right? Well, sir. Now the next question is, many lab teams lack commercialization experience. What incubator services do you think are essential, whether it's monitoring, IP management, funding, or go-to-market support?
Yeah, so that's a very good point that people who come out of these technology labs, they do not understand cash flow, for example. They do not understand business. They do not know what their go-to-market strategy is. They do not know, how to go and pitch their cases to the investors. And I have seen many companies die because of a lack of these things.
Street smartness,
Yeah,
I should say.
we used to often organize something like Lion's Den as part of our annual program, where we would call some of our startups and bring some of the investors, and then ask them to pitch in front of them. But I think that is not enough. We need to work with, we need to create a mentorship program, which from the successful entrepreneurs as well as successful business people and VCs and so on. So that kind of ecosystem could help a lot with this.
To give them
kind of issues.
confidence and
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
project them or expose them to the market. Well, the next question to you is, sir, how do you measure success of academic incubators? Is it number of spin-outs, revenue, jobs created, or patents licensed, or something else?
I think, it depends on the mission and vision of the incubator, right? So most incubators in India, university incubators, were created because government decided to give funds, right? Without any vision or any mission, right? And they are
True.
doling out some money to anybody who comes their way. And that has led to a, misinterpretation of what entrepreneurship is.
Yes.
And so I think that we need to measure in terms of, how many of them actually succeeds in in go-to-market eventually. But also patenting is important because, you have to protect the IP rights. Otherwise, even if you create a
might
startup,
down, yes.
somebody else will actually start and
Yeah,
outcompete you. So we have to do all that. So I think it's a combination of all this, but mentorship should be top class. Without mentorship, you cannot expect them to succeed. Even
Exactly.
with mentorship, only 10% will succeed.
True. Well said, sir. Well said. Well, then the last question to you is, how do you ensure that student-led startups emerging from research labs are market-driven rather than only technology-driven?
Yeah, so I think somebody was saying, you were saying that technical people like us, we always think that what we have done is the best in the world, and everybody is going to lap it up as we build products out of them. But actually, it doesn't happen. So actually, one has to understand the market demand, customer demand, or you have to be able to be like Steve Jobs to create a market of a completely new thing that nobody thought about, right?
Absolutely, which
So
is
you
rare.
have to do one of those two, otherwise you are not going to succeed. And that's difficult, but students have to do that, otherwise.
Yes,
otherwise
of
there's
course.
no way.
Think out of the box
Yes.
and do it. Yes. Well, sir, what an absolute insight you have given about especially innovation, and getting all these startups into market. I think that's what, IIT Hyderabad is all about. So I can totally understand that you are completely immersed into innovation. So, well, sir, thank you so much. Now, going ahead to Professor Soumya Mukherjee, sir, the director of BITS Bilani, Hyderabad. So my first question to you is, with your background in biomedical instrumentation and sensors, you epitomize lab to product. Can you share how one of your projects evolved into a commercial venture?
Nothing to do with biomedical though. Uh, well, one of the things that Professor Ramgopal Rao, who's now the VC of BITS Pilani, and we were working on a project to detect explosives. So he took up micro cantilevers, that type of work, and I took up micro heaters. Micro heaters was a sideline job in a sense that, well, you know, most likely it is, but then the micro heaters turned out to be simpler. Okay. And one of my students, he one day comes up to me and very excitedly says, you know what, I have this micro heater which I just fabricated, and it can just turn on and off in milliseconds. And wow, you know, let's see. And he turned on and off, powered to it, and it went red, black, and because it was heating up to red and going to black. And we put nanogram or so of TNT on it. We saw that it could clean up the TNT. That means the TNT is burning out. It was not exploding, by the way. That would have been a disaster, a nanogram. Even if it exploded, nothing would have happened. But yeah, so that turned out, and we started a company called Nanosniff, which took both the micro cantilever and the micro heater into this thing. But the micro heater part has now gone into the market, and it is being bought by, and it was a long time ago, mind you. Okay. The gestation period was superbly high. But finally it is being, the orders are being placed by airports and other places who are trying to replace the IMS systems, which are very costly, with these micro heater based systems which we have developed. So yeah, so that is one of them. I mean, that was a research which was done in the lab. The conceptualization was in the lab.
Okay.
Some time back, one girl came to me. She is a joint student and sort of works with me. She did her PhD in Jadavpur. I was a co-guide. And she comes up and says, you know, sir, big problem is there. This in the milk, they are mixing all sorts of oil. Palm oil, burnt vegetable oil in which they had already fried jalebis in. They're putting it in milk and selling it to the distributors, and the distributors have no way of figuring out. I said, you know what, let's look into this problem. And within a month we had come up with a solution. It is being demonstrated to some of the biggest milk producers in the company today, and we had started this work about 3 months back, or no, not 3 months back, probably 6 months back. And it is being demonstrated today to literally today, to one of the biggest milk manufacturers in the country, or milk aggregators, distributors in the country, who is very interested in this technology. So here is one which had a very quick turnaround. It was very strong market need, completely market driven, whereas the micro heater was something that we conceived of. We knew that the market needed it, but the market did not drive us really. Here the market was driving us, and quick turnaround.
Well said, sir. The next question to you is, at BITS Pilani, Hyderabad, how are you aligning the curriculum, labs and incubator to ensure student innovations get market validation early?
That's a tough one. Okay. Really, frankly, BITS.
So the questions are not prepared by me. I'm sorry.
I know. I know that you will not put me in such a spot, but BITS Pilani has been a cradle of innovation in the country. If you look at the number of startups, the number of unicorns and all that, BITS has an inordinately high proportion of such in the history of the country's education and startup ecosystems. So the very teaching methodology is quite innovative. People are encouraged, and that is not today. It has been, people have been encouraged from the 1970s. literally 75 odd, to take courses in various departments and to have a global knowledge. And we, at that time also, this thing was developed called the practice school. And where people spend the time actually working in industry and the faculty are monitoring them. It is not like that go to that industry and work, we don't care. It is an academic requirement and the faculty monitor them literally week to week. And so the people know what the industry needs and what are before even they start the job. So when they go to a job, they already are sort of half prepared. That makes a huge difference in the outlook.
Outcome, yes.
And that leads to possible innovation, innovative mentality. Let's say I go to Microsoft and I work for 6 months, okay? And I'm a young brain, right? Young brain is full of crazy ideas. They might come up with something, you know what, this is what Microsoft does not do. Let me try this thing out. They would not have typically got a chance in other places. Whereas in BITS Pilani, they get the chance to do that. So that is how we integrate curriculum, industrial knowledge, as well as the spirit of innovation in BITS.
Absolutely, sir. That's the need. I understand totally. I can relate to. I'll let you know what I mean. So, well. The next question is, what partnerships, whether it's industry, investors or platforms, do you think are most valuable for campus-based startups to transition from prototype to MVP to venture?
What were the three?
Sir, what partnerships in the sense, whether it is in industry or investors or the platforms, like, whatever. So do you think are the most valuable for campus-based startups? So whether it's to transition from prototype to MVP and to venture.
I cannot put a percentage importance to any of them because all of them are superly important. What is really important?
Yes.
You can have everything in the world. What is really important is the attitude.
Absolutely.
I have to have the attitude that, देखो भाई lab में जो किया है, that is 10% of road to market.
True.
After that, the technology development takes 20%. So we are at 30%. Engineering, another 20%, 50%. The rest 50% is understanding the market, marketing, placement of the product. Maybe you give up some of the great features that your product might have had in order to satisfy a particular market segment. That attitude, that is the most important.
Attitude,
you
yes.
can have
approach.
Investors, you can have everyone, but without that attitude, nothing works out.
Absolutely, sure. So, well, the last question. Looking ahead 3 to 5 years down the line, what sectors, whether health tech, sensors, sustainability, do you believe campus incubators in Hyderabad should focus on to build a globally competitive startups? So health tech.
I'm also partial to health, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Again, I mean, when you say health, if you look at the One Health mission and things like that, health is also equated very, there's a very high overlap with health and sustainability. So that part is, that overlap is there. And so sensors and all that forms part of the whole health sector, the One Health system and things like that. And India is signed up to the SDGs and the One Health system now. I think one should go to the market, understand the market, and if one has an idea, jump onto it, whichever sector it is in. I mean, 8 years down the road, back, or about 8 years, I invested in mutual fund. Okay, I can't invest in shares because I'm too stupid, and I don't have the time to go through the funds. You give money in mutual funds. I put money in defense. My investment advisor said, why are you putting money in defense? India में तो वो 2-4 गोलियां बनता है वो कोई 2-4 armament factory में. I said, पैसा डालो आएगा पैसा. Now she curses herself, she did not take my advice. And she was my investment advisor. So the point is that when you see a segment growing, might as well jump into it. It may be health, maybe it has an overlap with sustainability, maybe it does not, maybe it has a sensor which you developed for health, but it's better to be used in the environment. Who knows?
True. Well said, sir. Well, I think time is up, so I need to close up this. But before I close, I would like to give a closing remark and also my remark a little bit. Well, first of all, I really don't know. I mean, hats off to the team who has chosen me, being an MBBS and an MD in internal medicine, to question these pioneers and distinguished guests on the dais. And thankfully, we are running engineering campus. That's the reason I could relate and I could understand. And also, I had that confidence to ask the question to you. Well, before I conclude, I could just say that, sir, I have learned a lot from you three today, because you all come from the large background. But I would like to say that the change what we are doing in our campuses, everyone is looking towards computer science today. And our challenge in Mallareddy group is like not just following the conventional methodology or giving education, because I understand like today everyone, whether it is not just AICTE but also NMC or DCA, they have this own typical way of conventional way of education. I think we should all change, and we should act like the NEP 2020, what is the need of the hour nowadays. The plan is industry integrated curriculum, industry oriented, the teaching methodology. So hands-on training, experiential learning is the need of the hour. Unless and until we don't do this in our campus during the education, right from the first semester of the technology students, it is very difficult for them to understand that how these incubation center works, how this innovation is taken forward, and what is the market requires. The need of the market can be understood only if you expose them to hands-on training from day one itself. So in our campus, believe me, every student, they have laptop in, we have made them laptop mandatory. My father-in-law always say, "Me life partner ante me laptop. Laptop is your life partner." Well, his dialogues are absolutely patent. Aina gurinchi nenu maatladalchukoledu. But yes, what I can understand is, we have to change the mindset of the students right from the day one. We need to tell them that yes, industry is waiting for you. So that's the way we are trying to mold our students. And I'll tell you the change. Today, our students, like 4 years back, our fourth year student and our first year student today are almost equivalent. So competent based education is what we are targeting upon. The first year of the students are almost equivalent to the fourth year of the students now. They are at least able to understand. So well, thank you so much. And today I think thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask them questions, so that I take all these ideas and implement in our campus. Well, thank you, sir. Well, thank you to each of our panelists for your rich perspectives, and this has been a wonderful dive into how academia, incubation, industry and policy must align to take campus innovation from the lab bench onto startup runway. Let's remember, it's not sufficient to have brilliant research. The ecosystem must provide mentoring, funding, IP navigation and market access. When those gears blossom, lab innovation becomes commercially impactful. As we conclude, I invite you all to reflect on this question, that if every campus produced one market-ready venture in the next year, how many Indian lives could that transform? Thank you. Thank you so much.